Diwali celebrations. I went to India and I came back on Friday just to be on time for Diwali at my home. And I have three kids. They love this Diwali and had to be back yesterday, so we had a lot of fireworks, and it all went good. So I have the pleasure of introducing Priyadarshini, one of our CIP students. Hello, Priyadarshini.
Hello,
I
sir.
you had a great Diwali.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So Priyadarshini is one of our students from the Telangana state of Hyderabad. She's studying in York University, digital and content marketing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have her join the Zoom. She had a few queries and she wanted to check in, and I thought good time to have her give a review about her experience with CIP. So Priyadarshini, you applied through us. Akila Madam was your CIP
Yes.
manager. So how was your
Yes.
experience with CIP?
So, to be really honest, I've tried a lot of universities over the course of probably like 4 years because I was trying to apply for different countries. One of my options was Europe, and one of my options was actually US. But somehow, I've never had any hassle with CIP because everybody is so proactive, and there was no hassle, as in, every information that I needed, I got it. And even before I asked, they did the work for me. And most of them actually, make you keep coming around and all of that. But I've had a very great experience, and I'm very glad that I came to Canada with CIP. And
Fan-
even now, when I have little questions, it's very easy to get in touch with you guys. And always the response is something for my benefit, but not yours. And that's one thing that keeps me wondering. And I'm very grateful for everything, even for Akila ma'am. She went through so much trouble because of me. Because when I was planning to apply, I applied for main take, and there was an immigration strike here, and I used to fall behind her all the time. What's my status? Why am I not getting my visa yet? And my course was supposed to start on May 4th, and I got my visa on May 2nd. So imagine the build up of anxiety and questions for me. But through that, she was calming me down, and she was like, "No, you will get the visa. Just you're." She was just, assuring me. So then you guys go beyond.
Thank you very much. Thank you. For us also, it is a pleasure and blessing. We are one of the few agencies who only work directly with students without any
Yes.
sub-agents. There are 20,000
Yes.
sub-agents in India who are
Yes.
not really educated or professional out there. And we make it a point to work directly with students so we can understand you and provide the best services, within our abilities. And we've never advertised in India. So for us, it is a
Mm.
pleasure to have good students like you. As an ethical education consultant, study abroad consultant, it is such a pleasure to see somebody like you who, already you've just come to Canada 3 months ago. You already have a job. Your CRS score is very high. Your employer is probably giving you a 1 year job, so you might not even have to go for a second year program. So such a pleasure. There's so many students complaining about housing, about jobs, and you've been able
Yes.
to successfully transit from Hyderabad, traveling first time
Yeah.
overseas to Canada. So how was your experience? Your expectations of Canada are your expectations positive, meeting your expectations? Was it a good decision?
I mean, I've lived in India all my life, especially in Hyderabad. I've never moved out of my home. So it is such a big task for me. At least people have moved across the states and all of that, but I haven't ever had that experience. This is my first time away from home. I did have my share of, questioning myself about if this is the right step that I've taken. And especially a lot of people, they start their journey pretty early, probably 23, 24. And I started when I'm 26 and 27. So I just started to question myself in a lot of ways. But to my surprise, I've come here. I wanted to take 1 month break since I actually traveled, in the month of August, and my college was starting in the month of September. And then I started to search for jobs. I don't know if I was lucky or things work out when you're persistent. I've gotten the main focus is about knowing. You have to ask everybody. Nobody is gonna bring something to your table. So you have to proactively ask people where the jobs are or where you want to stay and all of that. Coming to education, not even a second I regretted studying at York, because the way they teach, the way they actually help the students, and the university, the campus, everything feels like I am lucky to be here in York. And also about my job, it was, I won't say it was coincidental, because I did try and apply for a lot of jobs on different platforms, and it did work out for me. When I initially got into this job, I just had so many questions. I even was worried if they'll fire me in a week. But as I kept going, today I'm at a place where my manager says that I'm at the top level, even being a part timer. So I just work 4 hours a day, but I'm my targets and everything, I'm no lesser than any full timer there. So I'm
That is
pretty confident. I'm pretty
congratulations.
confident that this will work out for me, even if I want to work the next year after my education. And I'm very confident that this will also count for my PR score as well. So that's how it's going so far.
That is so happy to hear. So how was the interview with your job? Like how many jobs did you apply and when did you start your job? Because you just came in August and
Mm.
this is November. So when did you start applying and when did you start working?
So one thing that I understood, I actually landed here on August 8th. And one thing that I understood was you have to build your references, you have to build your connections. It's very important in Canada. It's not like how we do it in Hyderabad, that we just apply for a job and we get it. It's mainly about the references. So I actually got in touch with a few people, even on Indeed and platforms like that. I kept applying and kept writing cover letters for them. A lot of people got back to me. However, this particular company, I thought it's flexible because it was giving me the hours that I need. And also, it's a desk job. So the first job was actually at Tim's, which didn't work out for me for sure, because I had a choice, right? So if I had to choose between Optima and Tim's, it was ideal for me to choose Optima, because
So you
even in the
also got a
long
job
run,
at Tim Hortons as well.
Tim Hortons, I got my job in like a week. So I went
Oh,
there, I gave an interview, I got it. I worked there for 2 days, but then I understood that I am not the right person to be in that place and work. And I also had this option of Optima Communications, where I get to do a desk job. So I thought it would be ideal for me to do this. And I gave my interview in the month of September, just a month after I came here. And I got through in like 2 days. I got to know that I got the job. And the interview was pretty straightforward. One round was on the call, just to get an idea about who I am and what I'm doing. And the second was an aptitude test, in which we had like certain 30 questions or something, which is pretty easy. For anybody who's coming to Canada, I think they will crack it.
that's interesting.
Um, yes. So, and the third one was the main interview. So my job is about sales, selling insurance. So I definitely do not have any sales experience back home. But one thing that I can share out of my experiences, even if you do not know, just you know how sales work, right? Anybody knows how sales work. So I think my idea of general knowledge about sales got me this job, because he was asking me to, just share my experience, how my experience was with selling and what I know about sales. And he asked me to demonstrate selling a product. And the most of it was all about my general knowledge about sales. And then I got the job. I joined on September 25th. So I actually have
Just
2 months of
after
experience
coming
already.
three,
Yes.
4 weeks within a month. That is so nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Getting back, I'm so happy that things working out. But just to life is all it's not. I always say life is a lot of challenges and some moments of joy in between.
Yes.
So transiting to a new country, it's not easy. And you there are challenges. So what were the challenges you faced when you first came to Canada as an international student. Sandeep just prompted me. You are Jansi's friend or cousin?
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
she's a cousin.
Cousin.
She's a far relative. So we were supposed to come together, but somehow things worked out for her. And
Yeah.
even her story is so like it we cannot
Oh,
even
Sandeep,
understand.
actually spent so many hours with her.
I know.
I think we even charged anything for her PR. We
Yes.
took a 1 year program, and Sandeep really did a great job. And I think he spent hours and hours with her.
Yes.
And I don't think we even charged her any fees for a PR application. The only thing what I
Yes.
asked her was, please, once you get your PR, please share your timeline in a Facebook group. But haven't heard back from her till now.
I will definitely make her do it because I think that's such an encouraging story of hers as well. Because not many people will get their PR just like that in the
And she
timeline
took
that
it
she's
2 months,
gotten.
right? In February, she
Yeah,
applied, right, Sandeep?
yeah. So that's very
Yeah.
encouraging for a lot of people. And I will make her do it. So I live across the street with her. It's very convenient for me to go and make
Nice,
her do
nice.
it.
So housing, guys, it is always good if you have friends or relatives here who can help you. So how was the housing part? It was one of the first challenging. So did you have any support from your friends or relatives here for housing? How did you manage to find housing?
So that was the biggest worry for me back in India because I was searching for a lot. And you can actually see the houses, but you will not be able to see the community where you're going to live and what's around your place. So it was very challenging for me. But thankfully, I do have a community here who I can trust and rely on. That's all that I can actually give away if someone asks me that communication, connection, always ask for help. Ask people who are living here where they're living and what is the place that you actually have to consider, and ask them what you have to look out for because we are coming from a whole different country with whole different new things here. So for me, the most silliest thing was I was really anxious about traveling here because I did not understand the buses, I did not understand the routes. So there was one day that I actually went 40 steps ahead without knowing where to get down. So everything is a learning, right? So initially, it actually made me very anxious since you have to start from scratch again. You don't know anything here. You just have to learn one day at a time. So I would just say that we will have a lot of situations where we'll question our coming here because we'll have a very comfortable life back home. It's not because of anything, but we've lived there long enough to explore. So we have to give ourselves time here as well uh, to understand and trust the process. We will be adjusted due time. And with the housing, I think it's better that we ask people, even if you don't know them. I've seen a lot of people in Canada very helpful, especially if they are from another country or from here. I've seen people being very kind and generous, even at least giving you information. So ask. And if you have a community, that's even more better. If you have friends and people who you knew back home, it's even more better. With housing, I did not have a lot of trouble because I took Jansi's help, of course, and she lives right across the street, and I live with the community that I knew back home, and I also think that there are other few friends who were helped with this community as well. So yeah, asking for help is the primary thing,
Yeah, that's
and
very important. What we have done is when I first came to Canada as well back, I came also as an international student.
mhm,
I'm 49 now, and I applied for my study visa when I was 38. So when I first landed, I came, my wife, my two children, my daughter was just about 2 years. My son was 11 months, 10 months, 10, 11 months. I had six suitcases and six bags and two kids. I literally had no one here except the
mhm,
colleges I used to work. I didn't know anybody, and thankfully, I found a lady who does this temporary accommodation. So, that is the reason what we have created. We have a Facebook group, we have an Instagram channel, we have
mhm,
hundreds of WhatsApp groups. So please, guys, join this. Try to connect with people. I know,
yes,
time is very limited, precious for many people here because students actually they study, they work, they have to do a lot of things. People might not respond, but there are good people like Priya and other people in the CIP community. So please do join and connect and try to talk to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So how is your experience with York University? Your the campus, the teaching, the program. You're from mass communications and you're studying digital marketing.
So York is such a great thing. I'm not even lying. But the moment I entered into this campus, I felt like, am I really studying here? And also, York holds a lot of value in Canada. Whoever I go to, if they ask me where I'm studying, if I say York, they have a certain expression in their face. You study at
Exactly.
York?
You know,
So
York is better
that,
than any college. It doesn't mean that students will end up, but still, it's a university. It's a top university.
yes.
Definitely has more credibility.
So that credibility is not just in people's minds, but when I started studying here, the way the instructors are, how they make you study. So I took a gap of what? I stopped, I passed out in 2017 for my bachelor's, and I haven't ever studied in between. And directly in 2023, I'm studying. So there's a gap of what, 5 to 6 years. And for me to catch up to the pace and doing my assignments, going to college is, I thought I wouldn't be able to do it. Certainly, the first month was difficult, but they structured the entire program in a way that no matter where you come from, no matter what you were doing all these years, you will be able to do it. So I won't say it is slow paced. I won't say it is fast paced, but it is just what we need to pick ourselves up from wherever we're coming from. And you have a lot of assignments, and how it makes me feel is the instructor who's teaching me is all equipped 100%, and I have to make use of it. I have to bring my A game to catch up with him. So that's one inspiration, and that's my drive actually. They are giving me 100%, and I have to be equipped enough to take that 100%, receive it. And so far so good. All my assignments I'm doing well. And as much as I find it difficult, end of the day, I get it done. The groups are nice. We have a lot of group work and individual assignments. And my class is for 3 hours a day, but then I feel like I've made the most of it from the class.
That is so nice to hear. You're such a nice person, so balanced, strong communication skills, and it's such a pleasure to have you apply through CIP and to see you, you know, live the Canada dream. Just 3 months, you have a job, and your CRS is with 1 year work experience, you'll be over 500. Thankfully, if your company supports you, such a
Yes,
pleasure
I
talking
hope.
to you. Thank you, Priya. Really, really pleasure. I will definitely send this link to York University senior management so that they can, hear the
Yes.
feedback from a student. So, what would be your advice to other prospective students who are considering Canada? Right, you did a great choice in US, especially from non-IT. For all the international students, it is about study, work, and live. You're not just coming to study, but also, settle and
Yes.
get your residence.
Yeah.
US is for non-IT, US has absolutely no chance. And also, even if you're lucky with the H-1B, which is only 20,000 for master's students, getting a green card is almost 100 years unless there's a serious change. So Canada
Yes.
is the best option, but guys, not every country guarantees PR for all the international
Yes.
students. So it is up to you to understand the program, educate yourself and understand the requirements so that you're successful. I'm an RCIC, and we support our students from the study visa till the immigration, and we will educate you with the process.
Yeah.
Right. So, what would be your advice to Priya, to all the prospective students who are contemplating study abroad and study in Canada?
Um, it's actually a lot that's on my heart and my mind. It's just been 3.5 months or 3 months since I'm here, but is my journey has started with a lot of questions, but I'm in a very better place right now um with some settled answers. Because when I came here, I came thinking that this country will offer me so much, and bring everything to my plate. But I understood that I have to seek for it. I have to understand how this country works, right? So I started to understand how this country works. So I started inculcating those that thought process, or that kind of questions or whatever. So I would say just trust the process. You don't have to be anxious. This country has a lot to offer if only you are willing to explore. And also, um, you won't get the job immediately, you won't get housing immediately, but if you try, and if you ask the right resources and try your best, there's nothing that you want, that there's nothing that is impossible, right? So even with your questions, you just tell yourself that you are making the right choice. Initially it might seem hard, but as you keep going, as you keep exploring, things will actually succeed, and you will find a lot of grace in this land. And the education is definitely not something that you will regret with. It's nice, it's great. It will actually give you all the time to settle in and then do your education well. People are nice here, they're very kind. And also, initially, since we are actually converting everything from INR to CAD, it might seem like you're having a heart attack, but it's okay. Once you start earning, once you start, figuring out your expenses the first few months, after that, you will live with CAD. So it is going to be okay. And once you get, I think, sir, even when I was just doing the part time and we are only restricted for 20 hours, right? I was very anxious about how I'm going to like take care of my expenses, how I'm going to just do everything by myself with the money that I'm getting. But I think once we land in a very good, probably full-time job, everything is going to be fine. But for us
Exactly.
right now, we have to understand how we have to spend. We cannot go about living like how we used to live back home. There are a certain restrictions. Even when we were students back home, we used to live a restricted life, right? So we have to get back to that mindset and live, spend wisely so that you can save a lot on your GIC, even if I want to go for another course, or even if I land up in any unexpected situations, I will have a backup. So spending wisely is one giveaway that I can give. Don't be anxious about earning. Don't be anxious about your PR. First, study and make a ground, a foundation, and then worry about PR.
Very true. Guys, this is a long-term project. Overnight things will not work
Yeah.
out. It took 20, 25 years in your home countries to study, get a job, and settle down. And things will not work out overnight here. Very important that you plan your finances. Canada, the postgraduate work permit program will enable you after your studies to make money. Whatever you have invested, you will make even more than that. If you study 2 years, you'll get a 3-year postgraduate work permit, and the tuition fees hardly is about $36,000, which you will easily cover in a year. So don't worry about your finances, but do plan, right? Most of you come on education loans, and please make sure that you have your GIC and some extra funds, because the first 6 months, 1 year is going to be difficult. So please don't expect to cover your expenses, your tuition fees with the part-time job. You are here to study. You are here for a long-term strategy settlement. So please be careful with that. And as Priya mentioned, uh, you will be anxious, but take it slow. Once you know that you have the funds to support you, eventually it will work out. But very important that plans without hard work will not become a
Yes.
reality. You have to, one, educate yourself. You have to understand. See, the problem is in India or in other countries, there are very few education consultants who will give you and guide you through the entire pathway. And also, you have to educate yourself. Like Priya, she already has an express entry profile. She knows what is CRS. So this is very important, right? I talk to many students who want to go to the US. I ask them, do you know how many H-1B visas are there for international students every year? They don't know anything, right? I asked some students about the CRS express entry. They don't know anything, guys. If you are planning, to go abroad, you have to learn A to Z, you have to educate yourself, and you have
Yeah.
to ensure that you have a plan to be successful. Because if you come and if you and it's very important to take help of a good consultant who can guide you. Please don't fall prey with sub-agents or people in India. They will get you an acceptance. Getting visa is no big deal if you have good academics. And then once they get the visa, they'll say bye bye, and you have to navigate your entire process alone. So please be very, very vigilant about choosing the right consultants and right programs. It's very important. Well, Priya, thank you very much for your wonderful feedback, and such a pleasure to listen to your experience with CIP, your experience studying in York University, and you're such a wonderful person, so strong communication skills, and I'm very much looking forward to see you successfully here in Canada. I've been in this industry for 23 years. I've seen my students, young kids, and then get married and have children, and I follow them all on the Facebook and the Instagram. And I see from, now is the time when everybody's getting married and getting houses and all that. So that's a
Yeah.
pleasure, and I'm looking forward to seeing you successful. Any
Same
help
here.
you need, please be in touch with Sandeep from our Canada team.
Yeah.
And this Zoom link, as you know, for all international students, this Zoom link is active. For CIP students, this is active from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Anytime
Hmm.
you have issues, feel free to join. In the afternoon, it gets a bit slow. So please reach out in the afternoon till 8 p.m. We have Nihilji working in the evening shift, and anytime, if it is emergency, call me 24/7 or Sandeep 24/7. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
sure. Thank you very much,
Thank
Priya,
you
and be
so
in
much,
touch
sir.
with Sandeep for your extension, and we'll take it forward from there.
Yes, yes. Okay.